leave it to goddamn William to change my schedule. Originally, I was gonna do Good Burger for Throwback Thursday, and now thanks for and then I was gonna do some Nightmare or some Haunting Hour episodes. Now that's changed because goddamn well, we watched the movie Mike and Jay. Goddamn you, Mike and Jay. Fridays they do a live stream where they have the viewers, the subscribers, vote on which movie is better. You know, film franchises. They did Halloween versus Friday the 13th, I think it was, and Nightmare on Elm Street versus Friday the 13th, and dumb stuff like that. This week they're doing Steven Seagal versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. And so, some of the movies I haven't seen, like half the movies I haven't, half if not most of the movies I haven't seen, but there are ones that I have and are available to watch. So now, my schedule has changed now. I'm going to do 3 tonight, 2 tomorrow. There's only 5 that I need to watch. That is Hard to Kill, March for Death, Lionheart, Bloodsport, which will be the Flashback Friday, and On Deadly Ground. Those are the 5 that I need to watch. And so I'm doing Hard to Kill, Lionheart, and Mark for Death tonight, and the other 2 tomorrow. Here's where the problem lies. Mark for Death was in my top, my peak 10 action thing. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna delete the video I did where I showed you the 5 DVD, 5 Blu-ray, and picked what movie it was. And I'm just going to restart from the beginning. When I'll get to that, I don't know. This will give me time to kind of stretch out, because I was feeling like, I need to get started on this. Well, now, I'm clean slate on that, so give me time to do other things. So, like I said, 3 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and if I get the 2 done sometime in the morning, I might pump out some Nightmare Room reviews. Or fucking Haunting Hour. Why do I keep saying Nightmare Room? I will do Nightmare Room eventually, but not yet. Maybe this weekend, Saturday maybe. Maybe Saturday I'll just do Nightmare Room, get all 11 episodes done. There's 13, but 2-part. Anyway, Hard to Kill, starring Steven Seagal, Kelly LeBrock, is directed by Bruce Malamud. Tells the story of Mason Storm, a cop who is investigating the mob and is attacked in his home where his wife is murdered and he's left in a coma. His what seems to be only friend on the police force, like the only one who's not in on everything, decides to make him a John Doe and declare that Mason Storm is dead. 7 years later, he wakes up from his coma and is promptly chased down. He is forced to join forces with Andy, who becomes his love interest, who, even though, we'll talk about it, and take down the man who's responsible. Now, okay, the first thing I want to point out is that they try to make a twist in this film about, you can, I don't know if it's really a twist, but you can take that to the bank, being the words that he hears while investigating the mob. Someone is talking to him, he's like, why have I heard that before? He can't figure out where he heard it. And then later to find out it's this now senator. One thing I want to talk about is, at the beginning, he's sitting there, he's waiting for them to come and say, come on, let's go. I'm going to miss the Oscars. I'm like, the Oscars? And like, he's after he does his thing, he goes to a convenience store. Why after spying and running away from these guys, he goes to a convenience store. And he shows up and he asks the guy at the counter, "You watching the Oscars tonight?" If there's one injustice in this film, it's that Mason Storm never got to watch the Oscars. Never forget. Justice for Storm. Show him that I don't know, what year was it supposed to be when he started? Was it 1990 because then he wakes up in 1997? I don't know. But anyway, he goes home. I have another complaint. No boobies. Not really. No. Every time you think you're going to get boobies, they cover them up. There's a scene when Storm comes... There's 3 different scenes, specifically, that I want to pinpoint. There's a scene where Storm goes home, he tucks his kid in, and then he goes to make love to his wife. Takes her shirt off, you see a side boob, but no nipple, and then he grabs it, so you don't see anything. And then they come in and they fucking start shooting. We'll get to that. And then there's another scene where he and Kelly LeBlanc, who was his wife in real life, by the way, are rolling around in a barn or something, somewhere, and they don't even get, you don't even get to see them take their clothes off. They're rolling around, and she's like, whispering something to him, I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, like that, like there's stuff, I don't know. And it just cuts to him sitting there, and we'll talk about that too. And like, and later with the senator, there's a woman, she's topless, but she, you know, they're in the water, and when she goes to get out, she turns and then covers up with a towel. I'm like, this movie's rated R. Give me one set of titties. Come on. It's not only rated R, but the 90s. Sort of. It's 1990, which means the 80s hadn't died yet. And you can tell by the soundtrack to this damn movie, because while this movie came out in 1990, supposedly take place in 1997, the soundtrack is very 80s. I felt like I was watching Magnum P.I. He's like, in his car or something. It's very 80s music. For a movie that came out in 1990, that's not wrong. You know, that's no problem. But when you're supposedly set in 1997, supposedly, as far as I can tell, that's where it's set, 80s music's playing in the background. Not like on a radio or anything, just like as the background music, you know? So he wakes up in a coma and he's got this goofy ass beard, long hair, because apparently the nurse was allowed to shave his face, give him a little goatee, I don't know. So we find out, because I was a little confused, because so the killers show up at his house because they don't know that there are cops in on it. So he calls in, and people are listening. So the cops show up at his house, and they're wearing masks and stuff, but they come in, they shoot him, which does fuck all, because he's shot, and he's like, and he's shot again, he's like, and he's still going. I'm like, what the, how? And then his wife gets shot, and then he gets shot again, and he's laying over the top. And then they see the kid, and they start to shoot at the kid, and I'm going, the fuck is wrong with you? I'm yelling at the screen. And I'm like, they leave. They get done with what they're doing, and they leave. I'm like, they think the kid's dead? Is the kid dead? We find out later he's not. But apparently he's 5 years old here, so 7 years, he's 12 by the time we get to the main. I was expecting like a teenager, like 16, because I thought he was older than he was. I thought he was like 8 years old. But it turns out he was only 5, I guess. I don't know. So here's the thing though, the cops frame this as a murder-suicide. And first thing I thought was, well, if it's a murder-suicide, then because like it's a murder-suicide, but is the kid still alive? Is he not alive? Is he alive? It's confusing. Who knows? If the kid's still alive, then how can they say it's murder-suicide? Well, apparently, I found out that O'Malley, who's apparently the only good cop in this movie besides Mason Storm and some guys at the end, says that he hid Sonny, that's the kid, from the world. First of all, why you name your kid Sonny? Ah, fuck you. Don't tell me that. You name your kid Sonny. What kind of name is Sonny? And what kind of name is William? It's my grandfather's name I have, you know. Hey, congratulations. You want a cookie? No. You can't over me? It's because I'm missing. You're going to pay for that. Yeah, whatever. There. Sit down, asshole. Hold on. There, better? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so found out O'Malley has been keeping the kids safe in a boarding school under his mother's maiden name. Now, he finds Mason Storm. He finds Storm because Andy finds an old lady who happens to be his mother. But yet, when he tells her that O'Malley found him, she asks how. And then he has to explain that the old lady was his mother. But she found his badge at the house. So I don't understand. I don't know. But one thing I don't fucking get, right? So everything that happens from when O'Malley leaves to the rest of the film is her fault. It's her fucking fault. Do you know why? Because she decided, even though she's in hiding, she's going to go visit a friend of hers. Martha, who is dead. Penny, they killed the other nurses so that they couldn't say anything? I don't know. My question is, like, how do they even know it's Mason Storm? Because when Andy calls for O'Malley, he's already left the force. And all she says is the John Doe coma patient has woken up. Automatically, somehow, they know that's Mason Storm. I don't understand how they know. The crooked cops in this film are OP. Just about as OP as Steven Seagal. Like, OP in the brain, where he's OP in the brawn. Like, they're like right there every fucking time. And you can say, oh, the crooked cops are in the system. But every fucking time, bullshit. Like one, what I just said. How they know that John Doe coma patient was him? They sent the crooked cops. They sent him in to kill the guy because somehow they automatically know it's him. And then, so another instance is when O'Malley and the kid are gonna get on a train. The crew cops show up and say, "Hey," he's like, and what's going on, O'Malley? O'Malley's like, "Oh, my kid and I are going on a trip." Hey, don't look like you. Looks like Mason Storm to me. I'm like, okay, first of all, yeah, they saw the kid when he was 5 years old. That's when he's 5 years old. 7 years, a kid can age and look completely different than what he did when he was 5. 2, one hell of a guess. You know, what? Why? How? Where? Up your nose and rub a hose. No. How? I mean, come on. They just, like, how did they find O'Malley to begin with? That's what I want to know. Is he left before they even got to the thing, and then he decided, oh, I'm gonna go get the kid. But nobody knew the kid was even in that place. So I don't understand how they were able to track him to the kid, to the station, and then say, oh, that's Mason Storm's kid. No. You make your bad guys too OP in the brain. It doesn't make any sense. Alright? It makes sense for Steven Seagal to be overpowered. He's Steven Seagal. It's his movie. He's the hero. He's supposed to be. The villains should not know where everyone is every moment of the damn movie. I know they have mob connections. They have connections to the senator, but it makes no fucking sense that every time they try to do something, crooked cops are right there. It makes no fucking sense. I hate that in movies. I hate it. I hate it when they try to explain it by saying they're crooked cops, they're in the system. But they stop talking to the cops after a certain point in the film. So you can't make that, you can't say that, you can't use that as an excuse. Alright, you can't say, oh, they're crooked cops, they're connected to everything. But when they stop making contact with the cops after the 7-year period is over, even before that, once he wakes up, he's not making contact with any other cops but O'Malley. And yet, they're still able to say, oh, the crooked cops, they know everything. That doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't know everything. But yet, every time they try something, right there, the only time it makes sense is when they, like I said, she fucks up and go to her friend's house. Some dude who lives next door says, hey, you're that bitch from the TV. And of course, the cops are watching over the place, so they follow her. Because like an idiot, she drives directly back to the hiding place. Anyway, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It pisses me off when they do that in movies, that the villains just automatically know where the good guys are because of plot convenience. And this is what they use. And they try to float it off as the crooked cops, so they're connected into the system. But when, like I said, when they stop having that connection to the cops after a certain point in the film, using that as an excuse doesn't make any sense. O'Malley dies, by the way, so his character was almost pointless, other than the first part of the movie. Other than that, he dies. I don't understand why he had to die, but okay. And Storm basically is killing everyone to get to the senator. He gets to him, and he says he's not going to kill him because things would be worse. They get the video and stuff to the cops, and he's exonerated for everything because like I said, they blamed him for the murder-suicide, which is not just a murder. They blamed him for like drug stuff, illegal stuff, and he calls the TV personality guy and says, I'm not guilty of that. He's being framed. And yeah, it's just, this movie's not bad. I really enjoyed it. The action, the music, the feeling. It's a really good movie. It just, I hate it in movies when they have the villains be overpowered and can find the hero every time he tries to do something, every time he goes somewhere, boom, 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 they're right there. There's other movies that do it, and I hate that. And when they try to shoehorn an excuse in that doesn't work after that connection is severed in the film, but they still try to pass that around, that's why it's happening. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like finding O'Malley and the kid makes no sense to me. Like, they're going to the train station, they're ready to go, they said they're going to meet the, Mason there. But then the crooked cops show up out of nowhere for no fucking reason other than, hey, we're crooked cops and we know where you are at all times. And it makes no sense to me. Yeah, they knew where they were because she fucking fucked it up. But there's no way he would know where O'Malley was, or even if the kid was still alive. Moving the kid was an option made by him to make sure he's safe. Not because they had found him, but so they don't. And yet, they still have the crooked cops find him. Why? So we can shoehorn an action scene in when he shows up. That's the only reason why. So go probably look at the script and say, hey, there needs to be an action scene here at the train station. Huh? Made the crooked cops show up at the train station so I can kick their ass. But, Steven, that wouldn't make any sense. How would they know? How would they know? The crooked cops. Good enough excuse, right? Put an action scene in so I can kick some ass. Do it. Probably how it went. That's what it really seems like, is that Seagal was looking over the script, saw there was a gap there, and said, put it in an action scene so he can kick some ass. And that's what we get. They kill the secondary hero so he can look like the main hero, and then he kicks some ass. There's no other reason why those criminals should be there. There's no way in hell they should have figured out that that's Mason Storm's kid, or that he was even still alive. Because O'Malley says that he worked Sonny's death into the other two deaths, so they were all three of them dead. I know you could say, oh, well, Mason Storm's alive, maybe his kid's still alive. But that's just a theory. You don't just say, kid's alive, let's go. Doesn't make any sense, even though it's true, but I'm just saying. Anyway, this movie's pretty good. I do have a few problems, like I said. But other than that, it's still pretty good. I'm going to give it a 7. Because those problems kind of weigh it down for me. Just the overpowered crooked cops that seem to know everything all the time when it doesn't make any sense, and just 7 years in a coma and they don't pull the plug. Maybe O'Malley had it, to where they wouldn't never pull the plug, but like, how would he know? And it another thing that I thought of is that he wakes up just in time, at the same time that the senator gets elected for a second term. I'm just saying. Yeah. I also want to say thank you to the filmmakers. This came out in 1990. That's the same year as Die Hard 2, which also had William Sadler in it, who plays the senator here. And I want to thank this director for not having him butt naked at the beginning of the film doing yoga. Thank you very much. And you can take that to the bank. So what are your thoughts on Hard to Kill? Them in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one, which will be Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme.